Welcome, everybody, to the New England Golf Radio Show podcast. I am JJ Truman from the New England Golf Radio Show. Just wanted to give you a podcast to keep you updated on what's going on in the PGA Tour. I actually had the opportunity to be down at the Deutsche Bank this past weekend at TPC Norton, just outside of Boston. It was a wonderful event. Congratulations to all the people that put that tournament on. They did a great job. I think the fans had a great job down there, had great weather. So just a fantastic event overall. And it was a pleasure to be down there and be able to cover that event throughout the Labor Day weekend. As I said, the event took place at TPC Norton, which is right outside of Boston, and it is a par 70 course, about 7,200 yards, so relatively short for PGA Tour pros. Last year's champion, Charlie Hoffman, won with a score of 20 under, so you have an idea of what they could do to this golf course if the weather was good last year. The weather was really good all 4 days as well. Some interesting holes on the course. Number 2, par 5, 542 yards with some bunkers down the right side of the fairway. Players typically try to carry those bunkers. The carry from those bunkers, depending on the tee, is about 280. Once they get over those, they can get a nice kick out into the fairway and roll it on down there pretty far. Amazing to see some of the drives hit down that fairway. Bubba Watson had the drive of the week there at 347. Of course, it was downwind, but still a bomb nonetheless. Ended up having an 8-iron into the green. Another interesting hole is the 300-yard par 4. It's reachable with a 3-wood or a driver, depending on the direction of the wind, depending on where the pin is. A lot of guys on Friday hit 3-wood up there, and as the week progressed, hit drivers because the wind kicked up a little bit. But certainly a lot of fun to see them be able to drive the green on a 300-yard par 4. Especially interesting to see it with a 3-wood. Another interesting hole, number 18, 528-yard par 5. The fairway has bunkers scattered throughout it. There's a hazard in front of the green. After players hit a drive, they hit their second shot. Almost everybody in the field goes for this in 2, which we'll get to a little bit later. But there's a big hazard in front of the green, and if you hit it in there, you got to go back to the drop zone about 100 yards back from them. There is some room behind the green, some room left of the green, so certainly an opportunity for players to make birdie and eagle. And Bubba Watson was amazing on the par 5s all week, which is probably why he led the golf tournament. Starting the 4th round, he had driver, I believe, 7-iron into that green in the 3rd round, and then in the final round had driver 6-iron. So a guy who just bombs. It was amazing to see him do it in person. He just gets it out there and could attack all those par 5s. The winner of the tournament, Webb Simpson, had an unbelievable week. His second PGA Tour win. He won at the Wyndham Championship, which is the event before the playoffs start. So he's had some momentum going into the playoffs and kept that going here, winning in the second week of the playoffs. He's got average length off the tee, average length of his iron shots, but when he gets it going, he is ultra accurate. Solid short game, solid putter, but the mainstay of his game is his accuracy when he's really feeling good. Second place, Chez Reavie was also looking for his second tour win. He won the RBC Canadian Open, has gained some length off the tee. He's averaging about 294, which is a big step up from 2 years ago. He was averaging about 275, so he certainly found a way to get some more length off the tee. Came into this season with a medical exemption, had knee surgery, and was unable to participate in some of the tournaments last year, so the PGA Tour gave him a medical exemption to get in to the PGA Tour events this year, and has certainly taken advantage of it, making it to the second round of the playoffs and then coming in runner-up in this event. He's got a really solid short game, putts it pretty well, but as I said, I think the big thing for him, picking up some distance off the tee, has certainly made him more relevant in a lot of tournaments this year. Had played well throughout the year. Some interesting stuff that happened at the tournament this week. Brant Snedeker had a hole-in-one on number 16, which is a par 3. It's just an amazing hole to watch too, with a great gallery. So that's another place where you may want to go if you get a chance to go down there next year. And then Bubba Watson, the final day leader, as I said, was just bombing it all over that place. Just amazing to watch him rip that ping driver with the pink shaft all over that golf course, but couldn't get it done on Sunday. I was around following him a little bit, and he was not happy on the 16th green, particularly upset about something. I don't know exactly what, probably the fact that he wasn't playing well. However, did make eagle on the 18th, which I think really helped him get out of there on a positive note, which you have to do in the FedEx Cup playoffs, because week after week you compete, and every week matters, every stroke matters in every tournament, because it'll influence your position moving into that Tour Championship in Atlanta at the end of the year. It had a ton of drama coming down the stretch. Chez Reavie and Webb Simpson were battling for that title, and Chez Reavie certainly is being questioned by a ton of people for some of the decisions he made coming down the stretch. But let's talk about what exactly happened. Simpson was in a group in front of Reavie. He got to the par 3 16th and made birdie. Reavie then got to that same par 3 and made birdie as well. This gave him a 2-shot lead going into number 17. He pars number 17. Webb Simpson makes birdie on number 18. Now Chez Reavie has a 1-shot lead going to the par 5 18th. Reavie hits a decent drive in the left rough. He's got 247 to the hole downwind. And as I said before, there's a hazard in front of that green. There's a lot of room behind the green. 247 downwind. PGA Tour player, probably going to be a hybrid. Decides to lay up. Everybody would think that common sense would say, hey, you should lay up here. You got a 1-shot lead. You're not going to make anything worse than 5 if you lay it up. Reavie does that, lays it up to 115 yards. However, the adrenaline must have gotten to him, because he hit his wedge 20 yards longer than he needed to. Hit it about 135, needed to hit to 115. The pin was in the back of the flag. Short-sided himself, made a decent chip, had a chance to make par and win the tournament, missed the putt. They go to a playoff. First playoff hole, 18th hole, decent drives by both players. Both go for it in 2. Both miss the green. However, they both get it up and down for birdie. Then on number 17, Webb Simpson hits a good drive. Chez Reavie hits a good drive. Webb Simpson hits an unbelievable wedge to about 8 feet. Reavie has an average wedge to about 15 feet. He misses the birdie putt. Webb Simpson knocks down that birdie putt to win the golf tournament. As I said, a lot of people question Reavie's decision in regulation not to just blow it up there at the grandstand and take his chances getting the ball up and down for birdie. Pretty much there's no way he's going to make more than 5 there. However, conventional wisdom would tell you to lay up in that situation and avoid the hazard. Then you take all the numbers out of play, all the big, larger numbers out of play. So, feeling unbelievably bad for Chez Reavie at this point, feeling good for Webb Simpson. Webb Simpson certainly had it flowing. I saw him earlier on in the week, felt really good about the way he looked at this game. He seemed very comfortable, was swinging it well, and as I said, was just ultra accurate, which he is when he gets it going. With that win, he is now the FedEx Cup leader, moving on to Cog Hill in Illinois, which is going to take place in 2 weeks. He is certainly a guy that you have to watch out for. He's going to contend for this $10 million. They're going to play in Cog Hill, then they're going to reset the FedEx Cup points, and then they're going to play for the Tour Championship Atlanta. And as I said, $10 million purse for that. It's not bad for a couple of weeks' work out of the FedEx Cup playoffs. Well, I guess it's an entire season's of work, because they got to build themselves up to get to that point. But that's the podcast for today. Hope you all enjoyed it. Look forward to dropping some more for you. Hopefully you'll listen in and tune in. I'm JJ Truman from the New England Golf Radio Show. Look forward to hearing from you all on Twitter, on Facebook. You can check me out on both of those areas. Give me suggestions on what you want to hear about as the FedEx Cup playoffs progress, and then we'll get into the fall series, and then we'll take a little bit of time off. Then we'll start next year up. Thanks.